Olá, meu nome é Maria Cláudia, estamos aqui com mais um novo episódio da AUA em situ, direto de Chicago, e temos mais uma entrevistada, uma grande amiga, doutora Suzette Sutherland, que é diretora da Urologia Feminina na Universidade de Washington, em Seattle, e está aqui conosco para falar sobre as novidades em bexiga hiperativa e a neuromodulação. So, hi Dr. Sutherland, it's a great pleasure for me to have this interview with you. You're such a great friend, and having me here in Chicago has been a great opportunity for me, so thank you very much. I've known that here at AUA we have a lot of different treatments in overactive bladder, and there's a new technology about neuromodulation, and I'm known you're involved to one of the trials of tibial stimulation. So can you comment a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you very much, first of all, for the opportunity for the interview, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. There are lots of new neuromodulation options for the treatment for overactive bladder, urge incontinence, and one of them is an implantable tibial nerve stimulation. So it's a little lead about this big, and it gets implanted in the leg on the inner side, and then the patient wears a programmer like an ankle bracelet, and it turns the device on, and it actually activates the device. So the only thing that's implanted is just this little lead. The rest of it is all on the outside, compared to some of the other devices that we've had in the future where there's a lot of hardware, as we say, that gets implanted, a lot of metal and such that gets implanted. So then the patients wear this ankle bracelet for an hour a day for a session, maybe half an hour a day, whatever is going to work for them, and then they can take it off and go about their business. So it's not as labor intensive as what we traditionally have done, where we put the little needle into the ankle and the patient has to come to the office to do that. And they come once a week for a 30-minute session, if you're familiar with that as well. We do that a lot in the United States. But the patients can't always come to the office. So the whole idea is, how can we take this therapy and get it into their home? Let them do their own sessions. So we just implant the little lead, allow it to heal around the ankle, and then you can't see it anymore, but they wear the little ankle bracelet then, and that actually turns it on and causes it to function. So it's really a very novel device.
Yeah, it seems perfect. I mean, such what we were looking for, like it's MRI compatible.
It is MRI compatible, yes.
And what's the data for it? Does it really work? Is better than sacral neuromodulation?
Yes, well, I'm glad you asked. There was just a late-breaking abstract here at the AUA, which was presented earlier this morning, that looked at our 12-year data. The data has now been submitted to the FDA, so we're just waiting for FDA approval, which hopefully we will, hear something in the next handful of weeks, and we'll have more information to share. But the 12-week data is very promising, and what we saw was significant improvement in patients' overactive bladder, urgency, frequency, and predominantly urge incontinence. So it helps with the incontinence component quite a bit too. And at 1 month we saw significant improvement, but at 3 we saw even more significant improvement, and that was sustainable to 6 months and out to a year. So it really was wonderful. What we saw was at least 80% of the patients achieved a much greater than a 50% improvement in their symptoms, which is the bar that we usually set for most neuromodulation. And then about 50% or more of the patients were also completely dry still at 12 months. So we see, when we do look at comparative trials to other tibial nerve stimulation forms, as well as some of the sacral nerve stimulation data, and it's really looking quite favorable when we look out at the 12-month data. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, once this gets FDA approved, then its actual use, and I think it's really going to help open up this market of overactive bladder. We know that a very small percentage of patients that have overactive bladder actually move into the neuromodulation as a treatment. And we keep asking ourselves, why is that? Why can't we get more people to be treated by neuromodulation? And I think many of them are afraid of the large implants that we have today. The therapy seems like it's a little too sophisticated with all the reprogramming and things like that. We know the therapy works, it's just what you have to do to get it to work. This is a much simpler option, and I think it's really going to open the doors for more people to come in to actually embrace neuromodulation as their treatment option. So we're really excited about that.
Looks so promising. I hope we can see that in Brazil.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We really appreciate your time talking to us and give us such a new message for Brazil. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Muito obrigada. Acabamos de ver mais um episódio. Continuem conosco, estamos trazendo aquilo que há de novo aqui na AUA para vocês. Muito obrigada.